There's a little pep in the step of the Panthers as the 8th game of the season approaches. And this FIU squad has a chance to be at 500 after Friday night concludes. Improvement by the week is not simply an analysis of hope and future potential. This FIU team has gone out now and picked up back-to-back road victories, first time in 4 years to that matter. We'll keep believing in us. Now the task is clear. Keep the good vibes going, the t-shirt cannons firing, Pepas in the locker room blaring. What a scene that was. And with that, we welcome you in to FIU Panther Talk. Great to be alongside head coach Mike McIntyre. I'm AJ Ricketts. Coach, in the locker room before the game, you said, give me 3 hours, 20 minutes. All you got for 3 hours and 20 minutes. You certainly got that out of your team. Perhaps, maybe in your estimation, the most complete performance of the season. I mean, how impressed are you with this past Saturday?
Well, the coaches and the players did such a phenomenal job in the game and preparing for the game, and the way they kept focused during the game I thought was excellent. We had a couple little mishaps there on a field goal protection, which we hadn't had any problem with, but we'll get that fixed. It kind of put a little damper on the end of the half there at the end of the game, but I thought that overall they played really hard and executed well, and we're ready for the game. It was a lot of fun to watch them do that. It really was.
It was almost a perfect half, about all you could have asked for. Let's start with the very beginning. The second play of the game, Sean Peterson Jr. getting to the backfield, getting to Chris Reynolds, forcing the fumble, recovering the fumble as well. He had 3.5 sacks, 3 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss, 6 tackles in the fumble recovery. You know, he's been graded high by PFF throughout the first few weeks. But maybe he's had those QB hurries, but this time the stats were all there for him as well. How important was that to get off to the good start with that turnover to start the game?
Oh, it was extremely important for us, especially on the road and their homecoming and a good crowd. And I think that, you know, Coach Brumfield, who works with our outside linebackers and special team, and Coach DeWitt, the defensive coordinator, you know, we bring Sean a lot and we drop him a lot. And looking at our film and reviewing us a little bit, we saw that, you know, when he's off, we weren't bringing him in as much. So we lined him up like he was off, like he was dropping, and then brought him. Right. And so their guy, he ran right by the guy and it made a great move on him. And that was the first time. We brought him some other times, a lot of other times also, but I thought that was a good design. And he did a great job of attacking the quarterback, hacking the arm and getting the fumble, recovering the fumble.
Did it all.
He did it all on that play, and that was a big play for us. And then the offense going down and scoring right off of that was big.
Yeah, it could have perhaps been a little deflating to have such a big turnover right away and then not convert in the red zone a week after. There had been the well-documented red zone issues, but you go to Grayson James, and the first thing I'm noticing from these plays when you watch them back, the blocking on the outside. How about Chris Mitchell? How about Tyrese Chambers pushing his guy back? Rivaldo Fairweather, they're coming across the line of scrimmage. I mean, total team blocking, and mentally, just to get in the red zone and convert had to have been huge.
Yeah, it was. It was fun watching number three make the sack, fumble recovery, number 3 run across the touchdown line. And so that was exciting, no doubt about it.
Grayson, you know, we used him heavily in that New Mexico game and the run game, and again here today as well. But he seems comfortable in that aspect, willing. Even the QB sneak on 4th, and he got an extra yard or so. He needed inches. He got 1 or 2 yards, and then of course in the run game, bouncing to the outside. I mean, how beneficial is that in this offense that Coach Yost is trying to run to have a quarterback?
It's very beneficial for us to have a quarterback that can run, and especially in today's football. So that gives an extra dimension, a guy they got to add extra to the run, which also helps our passing game. I'm excited about what all Grayson's been able to do and how Coach Yost has been able to use him.
Let's talk about his passing game as well. His first career performance over 300 yards, and he was pinpoint accuracy. So many out routes perfectly on the numbers. Only the receiver could make the catch. You know, I'm not sure what maybe your analysis was the previous week, but he for Grayson, probably not to his standard, a couple of underthrown balls. The improvement from one week to the next was tremendous. What do you attribute that to?
Well, attribute to Grayson and Coach Yost getting together and really calming down his lower body. We've been working on that. He was a lot more settled. The offensive line did a good job, but he was a lot more settled in the pocket underneath him because he has such a powerful arm that he can kind of just do it with his arm sometimes, but in our caliber of play, you're going to be inaccurate a little bit because of all the people breaking on the ball and everything happening, having to get quick of it. So now with his body settled, with his arm coming through, that's what made him more accurate. And he was putting the ball on the money a lot more often. And he'll keep doing that. He understands that, and he's really improving himself, and it's fun to watch him improve.
Well, he often had an open target in receiver Tyrese Chambers. What a game, 10 receptions, 143 yards. He did it to Charlotte once again, but this year was able to do it in a winning effort. And Coach, sometimes he broke free in coverage. Half the time, he was draped. As good as a cornerback can play. There was one play, he tipped the ball to himself, one hand, and made the catch. You know, it might be surprising to some, that effort coming off the injury, but what a performance from Tyrese Chambers.
Yeah, he battled and did really well. I mean, he had kind of semi-practiced during the week, a couple periods here and there, but not the full time to make sure we could get where his ankle wouldn't swell back up. And so I was interested to see how long he would be able to go. And I felt like he could go the whole game, but I've had ankles before. They make one cut, gets tackled funny, and it tweaks it again.
True.
But he just kept battling, and he did really, really well. It was fun seeing number 0 out there.
The entire wideout core was terrific. Chris Mitchell, 8 receptions for 84 yards. Jalen Bracey, 4 catches for 55 yards. A lot of those contested in coverage. Chris Mitchell, he had to play the game on our social media. We said that turnaround in the end zone right by the pylon and single coverage. How are these guys developing week after week in the system here?
Yeah, and Coach McIntyre, Jay's doing a really good job with them, working with them, and they're competing and improving. And Coach Yost is designing really good plays for those guys. And I think you're just kind of seeing the whole offense keep improving little bit by little bit by little bit. And that's helping the receivers improve also.
All right, let's flip the script here. Defensively, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
for the squad. Dorian Hall had one at the end of the half to ensure nothing fluky would happen there when Charlotte was trying to get a Hail Mary. And then Andrew Volmar and Demetrius Hill, their first interception. It was cool to see. I saw Demetrius around campus I see him around every few weeks. He says, "Get ready, Demetrius Hill, interception, get ready to call." And he had it ready to go, and that was fun to see. And Andrew Volmar's pick. You said over the summer, over the spring, he may not have been able to make that kind of play. One-on-one chasing a guy down. How impressive were those two interceptions?
Very impressive. The interception by Hill, he came over and it was tipped by Volmar.
I think so, yeah.
And
the reaction.
The guy was covering, he got it, and then Volmar pressed the guy up. Guy ran a fade. I'm standing on the sidelines going, I saw the quarterback said, they're throwing a fade to 14 on Volmar right here. And sure enough, he pressed him well, turned, ran with him, jumped, caught it. You could not play press coverage any better than that.
Right.
And that receiver 14 is really good for them. They've connected with that many a times. And then he had another one later on that I thought he was going to pick, where he was playing zone and he broke hard on the ball on an inside throw, broke, tipped it, and then kind of bobbled it. And we thought he was going to catch that one. So Andrew has really, really improved and really competes well and takes coaching really well, is really learning the game, and he'll keep getting better, and it's been really fun to watch him improve.
And I know Charlotte quarterback Chris Reynolds, his MO is getting out of the pocket a little bit, extending plays, but it didn't feel like he had a pocket if he wanted to sit in there often. The defensive line harassing. I think one of the interceptions, either Pendergrast or somebody else hit him as he was throwing and maybe influenced that pass a little bit. The defensive line, I thought, had one of their most complete performances.
Yes, they did. They got after the quarterback. They did good against the run. Coach DeWitt did a good job with bringing people from different edges and up the middle and doing a lot of different things there. And we're able to do that because they're starting to they understand the defense better now. They know where to fit. We've done those things before, but they didn't look as good. Now they know where to go. They know the angles. They know why we're doing it. They know that when motion happens, what's happening. And so they're improving. I
want to talk about Flex Joseph as well, going back to the offense real quick. The first
Flex.
3 games, he had his first multi-touchdown game in his career. First 3 games of the season, 22 carries for 52 yards. So if you do the math there, it's 2.4 yards per carry. But he has turned it up a notch as of late. In the last 4 games, 44 rushes, 311 yards. That translates to 7 yards per carry. I'm sure half of that is the offensive line, the run block gelling as well. But there were plenty of plays. Defender in good position. Flex Joseph didn't care. He bounced off a tackle for one of his touchdowns. What have you seen out of him that's allowed him to be
Flex is hitting it downhill. He's getting movement with the line, so now he can crease that. And a lot of his runs, there's a little bit bigger crease, so now he can make one slight move, and the guy tries to do an arm tackle and cannot arm tackle. He's so thick in the lower body, keeps his balance. He's an excellent runner, and really excited about what he catches the ball out of the backfield well. And EJ's doing a good job, and then KJ's come in and done a good
Yeah,
job too. So
yeah.
I think all three of those guys do a really good job. But Flex has really made some big plays and excited about what he's doing.
And I think the offensive line is starting to figure things out a little bit. One where different pieces have been injured at different times. A true freshman is playing. I think John Bach running the Athletic the other week. At least at week 5, he was one of only, I think, 12 true freshmen to be playing along the offensive line. He's a young one that's been thrown into the fire, learning lessons, and it seems like that is starting to pay off. And when Grayson did decide to roll out of the pocket, at the same time, it looked like he felt comfortable as well. So it seems like that side of the offense is starting to gel a little bit more.
Right, it is. They are making, like I said, they keep making small steps, which I see on a daily basis. Now it's starting to show up on the field in games more often.
Before we wrap up, though, let's take a look at the top 10 plays from this past weekend against Charlotte. No shortage to choose from. Let's start with Jeremy Passmore, the Columbus grad, getting in the backfield here.
Yeah, that was a great job by Jeremy, pass rushing there. Beat the tackle inside and got him down. Had his little dance there afterwards.
And Passmore in the defensive line, pounding Reynolds all afternoon. Flex Joseph bouncing off the tackle, showing the strength here to get in the end zone.
Yeah, there he is, hitting downhill, runs right through the tackles and gets in the end zone. Great effort.
And when Flex gets in the end zone,
he flexes.
he flexes on him. That's
kind of
what
looks
he does.
like you when you flex.
It's exactly the same, Coach. I'm glad you noticed. Number 8 here, 2-for-1 special, the 2 rushing touchdowns from Grayson James on back-to-back possession. Look at the blocking. Grayson will take advantage of that with his size and strength, but he wasn't even touched there. Great blocking.
Great run, and great blocking. And here's another one, another great block there by Baldo.
Yeah.
Just a really good read. And excellent play, turns it up and gets in.
Put your pads into somebody, get in the end zone, and celebrate. I love that shot right there. Number 7, little pump fake here, wheel route. Bracy takes advantage. I feel like I saw that earlier this year, but he probably wants the touchdown.
Yeah, he does. I do too, because I don't think we got in here. We should have, and I thought he was in, but that happened sometimes.
Got a little off balance. Still a great game from Jalen Bracy. Let's switch back to the defensive side here. Andrew Volmar with the pick.
It's great press there and coverage and coming up and getting it. That's a big-time play right there. That is really hard to do.
Andrew had a couple of big pass breakups too. Was it even if they didn't pick off the football, him and Demetrius Hill? Yeah, I don't know where the cannon was. I saw him throwing it a couple times.
They shot it out.
Okay, I saw Grayson shoot it one time. Here's Grayson again. Here's Tyrese Chambers.
What a catch.
Great. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he does that. And that's a heck of a throw.
That's what he does.
That's a heck of a throw.
Just continues
Great catch.
to gash Charlotte once again. Here's Demetrius Hill's version of the interception. Watch the hit. Maybe that influenced the pass a little bit, and Demetrius took advantage.
Yeah, it was good. Good coverage by Volmar there underneath him. Tipped it
Andrew.
up,
Yep.
and then there he goes.
Yeah, you were right. Andrew getting in the equation. Demetrius Hill said, "I'll make sure to get the interception." Dorian Hall, the proud veteran,
They're all
looking
having
on.
fun.
And, when you get the pick, you get the belt. And then he tossed the T-shirt. We got to get him the cannon. Number 3, staying on the defensive side of things. Peterson early making a statement.
Yeah, that was a big play. Came around. Also, as you can see, he goes for the football.
Right.
He did that earlier in the Bryant game also.
Yeah.
And then he gets the return over. That's a really big play.
Yeah, he deserves it. Bounced right to him. What a play from Sean Peterson, looking like a prospect at that position. Here's a
Tyrese's play.
incredible skill.
Yeah, he had it. The guy tipped it away. He tipped it back to himself.
I mean, if you're a
Big
defender,
time.
how deflating is that? I think I saw some shrugs of what else can I do from different defenders. Number 1, Chris Mitchell coming back to the football. He just keeps getting better every week.
Yeah, that was a great throw and just a great adjustment by Eric to catch it, keep his feet in bounds. It was a big time play.
Chris Mitchell,
There,
terrific
Chris
game.
Mitchell.
We're in number 10 this week.
Chris did awesome. Yeah, number 10. I was like, what in the world? And he goes, I don't know if he's wearing 10 again. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. All right, let's take a look at La Tech, this Friday night's opponent, CBS Sports Network. Quick recap of the Bulldogs season, 2-5 on the year, 1-2 in CUSA play. 2 of those non-conference losses were on the road at Mizzou and Clemson. So keep that in mind with the record. 2 wins, Stephen F. Austin and UTEP. This past weekend, they lost a heartbreaker to Rice on their homecoming. Scored a touchdown in overtime, went for 2 in the win. We know how that, the pressure of that, but an overthrown pass sealed a 42-41 defeat game against the Owls, in which they did lead by as many as 10. Still a very capable team coach, 31 points per game. They throw for just under 300 yards a game. We don't know if we'll see their quarterback, Parker McNeil, by way of Troy and Texas Tech, 15 touchdown passes this year. Had to leave last game against Rice. Their backup also exited, so Maybe it'll be Landry Liddy, the Gatorade Player of the Year in Louisiana last season. He's a true freshman. Maybe it'll be McNeil under center. Nevertheless, there is talent and plenty of offensive weapons to deal with.
Yes, they're very talented on offense, and like I said, you got to know where the Harrises are.
Yeah,
number
Smoke
3
and Trey, right?
Yeah, Trey and Smoke, number 3 and number 6, and they make plays right and left. And they have a lot of other players that do. They got a good running game. Their quarterback McNeil can make all the throws, and the Landry Liddy guy came in at the end, and his first pass was a touchdown. His second pass was a 2-point conversion to put it in overtime. He has a little ice in his veins.
Yeah.
So, they know how to do it, and Sonny's always had good offenses everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
He's calling the plays, he's calling the offense and doing it. So they know how they're doing. They'll bring a high-powered offense in here.
Yeah, Sonny Cummey, the first-year head coach at La Tech, previously the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech and TCU, both programs who have been known for their offense over the years. He's in his first year leading La Tech. Also want to spotlight, I think Dane Montiel, our punter, was named to the Ray Guy Award preseason nominee. He's been terrific this season. I know you said in special teams, a little miscue or two in the PAT and the field goal. Well, generally that unit has been great, and now it's kind of been validated with the Ray Guy nomination for Dayton. He's right around 44, 45 yards per punt.
Dayton has done really excellent this year, and he'll keep it up. And the other thing he's done good is, put the ball down inside the 20 quite often.
Yeah.
So it's been a big deal for him, and excited about what he's done.
All right, we mentioned it last week. Fan turnout this year has been terrific. Coach, what's the message to the fans? This is a big game. Chance to get to 4, get back to 500. The tailgates have been awesome. The attendance has been awesome. What's the message to the fans here for a Friday night here?
It means so much to our players when they run out and they see all the students and the fans. And I tell you, when they get off the bus and the tailgating and there's people everywhere and greeting them, they multiple ones have come and said, Coach, we've never seen it like this. We've never seen it like this. We've never seen it like this. And so that really motivates them. And they're playing. We're playing better. We need the fan support here. It motivates them more and more. And hopefully we'll play well Friday night and make them leave happy, so they'll go eat a lot of candy on Halloween.
That's right. And hopefully we'll be playing Pepas in the locker room.
Exactly right. No doubt about it.
It's a terrific seed after this past week. All right. Thank you as always for joining us here on FIU Panther Talk Friday night at the Cage, CBS Sports Network, and Univision 1140 a.m. Coach, let's have some fun this Friday night.
Right,
appreciate it as always.
Right,
winning is fun. That's another edition of FIU Panther Talk. For head coach Mike McIntyre, I'm AJ Ricketts. We'll see you Friday nights at the Cage. All's up.